Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Spirituality Gone Wild. And my favorite thing to do now on Monday mornings, and that is get into Monday, which is Moon Day, with the infamous, incredible Claudia Thompson, who is, by the way, one of the top lunar astrologers in the world. Claudia, it's so good to be here again.
Yeah, wow. Well, I think it's interesting with the headphones because we begin the week under a void of course moon and we end the week under a void of course moon. We got little bitty ones in between, but this one began right at 10 a.m. and it's going
Yeah.
to last until 4:41 today. And I'm
Well,
going to tell you why that's some beautiful divine synchronicity. But I just want to remind anyone who's listening who didn't hear me talk about void of course moons last week and why do you care? Why are they important? Well, void of course moons, as the moon moves through the zodiac during its whole cycle, it dances with every single planet, every sign that it goes through for every 2.5 days. That's how long it takes the moon to go through a sign. It dances or aspects every planet. And so when it stops making aspects, in other words, there's no energy coming from the planets through the moon to us, we have
mhm.
what's called a void of course moon. And astrologers define that as nothing happens. Now, it doesn't mean that, I mean, you could just go to bed, that'd be fine. But really, it's so beautiful on Monday because moon days are days when we have more heart attacks than any other time of the week. I don't know if you all knew that. But so Monday, this day is telling us take a breath. Halloween always indicates our entry into the last final phase of the old year, of this year. So it mirrors the 8 phases of transformation that the moon presents in each cycle. And the balsamic phase is when we move into the depth of the dark. And then 3.5 days later, we have a new moon and the light begins to grow again. And so right now we're in the time of the year that mirrors that. For the next 6 weeks, we'll be moving into the depth of the dark.
Okay,
And
hold on there. Well, just one second. I did we start the Depth of the Dark early? Because I can't find the thing to my headphones. Okay, so things do you laughed when I said I just can't seem to find these.
that's because at 10 a.m. the moon went void of course. Exactly 10 a.m. the moon went void of
Oh,
course. So that means surrender and get your ducks in a row. It's a great time to just allow the assimilation of a new season, this balsamic phase of the year that begins with All Hallows Eve. The veils are thinner. And so we need more rest. The balsamic phase, classically, in every
yeah.
lunar cycle, is about rest, regeneration, gleaning the wisdom from the cycle. So this is telling us that we are entering that phase of the year where we glean the wisdom from all of 2021. What have we learned? You spent last week getting your consciousness aligned with your vision and seeing if the vision that you set forth at the beginning of the year was actually where you want to go now. How has that shifted? And what's the consciousness that needs to shift to be aligned with that? Now that Jupiter's moving forward and it's saying, what was that bigger dream? What was that bigger vision? And how am I walking that? And I'm telling you,
Mhm.
as we move into this depth of the dark and this time of Scorpio, fixed, feminine, water, we really, really need to know what our vision is so that we have something that elevates our spirit every day. So the balsamic phase began last night, and it also began as far as the cycle goes. So this next 3.5 days is a wind down time. It takes the universe doesn't move as fast as we do because it's got a much longer lifespan, right? So we allow time to assimilate, for our bodies to assimilate this new energy. And we've entered November, which is an 11 month. And I talked a little bit about the 11 before. And the 11 represents balance, mastery. It's been the theme through this whole Libra cycle: balance, yin,
Wow.
yang, harmony.
As she's saying this, I want to just point out it's 10:10 here Pacific, and it's 111 today, 111. So just as you're saying that, the universe is showing up with these numbers going ta-ta. It is so true. And good morning, Joe. Good morning, Julie. Good morning. Good morning. It's so beautiful. If you guys go ahead and share this out, if anybody has any questions for Claudia, please do put it in the chat. And then one thing I want to mention is if you want to book an actual reading with Claudia, all you do is look in the description of this video and the link is right there, along with the links to join the Facebook groups as well. So please do book a reading with her because they are amazing. We've had a few people do it now and they're really enjoying it. So I highly encourage you get some moon guidance. Good morning, Nicole. Okay, so back to balance.
I want to tell you something about the link just briefly.
Oh, sure.
I have a new reading there, Lunar Discovery Session. You'll find out what the moon means for you. Where is the moon in your life? How does it relate to your solar nature? What does it mean for your health? What does it mean as far as your operating system goes and how you operate in relationships and in your own life, what you need to feel nurtured and secure. So that's a new reading that's there at a special price. And the other reading that is there is at full price. If you will message me on Facebook and say you want a full reading, I will give you a special price for Spirituality Gone Wild as we enter this new phase of the year.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mullen Bennett. Hi, I just saw you. I just saw her across Facebook the other day. You look fabulous, honey. I have to tell you. I think you were with a picture from when you were with your mom and your daughters. And bless your heart, I know it was a hard time for you, but still, it was a gorgeous picture. It's good to see you guys. And so, if you want to book a moon reading, all you do is use the link up in the chat. Okay, questions. Who has questions about what moon are you? What does it mean to be the moon you are? Do you know your moon? And those kind of things. Whatever you comes up for you, type it in the chat. And Claudia is going to continue to tell us what we have coming for us with this new moon cycle. And by the way, Claudia, I have a question for you. I heard that this new moon cycle is one that unveils all the secrets and really brings forward all truths because it's in a Scorpio. Is that true?
We're going to go into that. But I want to give people the layout for the week. I don't want to just jump to the new moon on Wednesday because I want you to be prepared for this new moon. And we are in the Scorpio cycle. Scorpio, yes, you're right. It's secrets, lies, betrayals, and forgiveness and surrender. All the stuff is being revealed. And so if you're listening to mainstream media, stop it. You are a creator. Program yourself. It's going to be very, very important because it's going to get really gnarly as we move toward this holiday season. So, they're going to ramp up because the control is being lost. We're awakening to the fact that we're creators, that we create our life, and that we are going to create lives of freedom to live our vision, freedom to rise. And that's what humanity is doing. We are rising. Don't let any illusions or evidence to the contrary sideswipe your vision. So the 30th, over the weekend, Mars entered Scorpio. So this adds to what Debbie was just saying. Mars in Scorpio can give you laser focus. It can also point out where you are at war with yourself, where you have not released those old hurts and betrayals, where you still hold secrets so you're not honest in your relationships. And this is with the South Node in Sagittarius, honesty is a big one this year. What are the beliefs? What are the fears that keep you from being honest? And this is a big, big overarching emotional energy that they're trying to put forth, whoever they are. And that is any forces contrary to your vision of love and peace, because fear, it has been found that if one gets into fear, then you can't think, you can't live your vision, and you can be enslaved. So, false evidence appearing real. What's your evidence in your life? Is there a war going on in your yard? No. Try not to be adversarial if you can, because if you take sides on this COVID issue, for instance, are you locking yourself away from love? Or are you welcoming it into your heart and saying, I bless you, I totally hold you in wholeness and wellness, regardless of what your decision is. I'm not going to say you did this and therefore, no, I'm going to hold you in wholeness and wellness because we want everybody to go together. We want an awakening of humanity. There's only one of us here. This is the realization that we're all coming into. We are this huge 7.5 billion faceted diamond that is getting polished so that it can shine as never before throughout the universe. So we can start to welcome this galactic communication. And actually, tomorrow, Venus conjuncts the galactic center. It's a point that's way out there in our galaxy. But what I want you to know about that is that you might have some wild ideas, some far out ideas, but keep track of them because they can have earning potential. So that's the gift of this Venus aligning with the galactic center. And Venus and Mars are big players over the next 2 months because everything's going to be moving direct, and then Venus is going to back up after it moves into Capricorn, and that will be happening on Friday. So Mars in Scorpio, Venus in Capricorn, and it tells you use this month to really get your grounding regarding your balance and that new balance that you're seeing coming into being in your life. And as you do that, rest, regenerate, glean the wisdom, and get a plan that you can put forward as December comes on. We've got all this forward motion, but we are in that balsamic phase. So it really tells us to get ready to regenerate and rejuvenate for 2022 coming up, which actually the natural year begins on the solstice, which is the 20th and 21st of December. So I mentioned, having a plan, starting to hatch your plan, because Christmas gifts, those of you who are in business or even just getting your Christmas list so that you can do it with grace and ease. And look at what you want to offer people, because Scorpio is receptive energy. It's feminine. So how do you magnetize what you need, want, desire? And, I know we're in a culture that doesn't really pay you back for being receptive, but that's the way everything works. So you can magnetize by
the law of receptivity, right?
Yes. And
The law of receptivity. Yeah. I mean, and I want to just, because and actually, maybe the universe doesn't pay us back. No, wait a minute. People may not. But in the law of receptivity, we always see it coming back in strodes. Have you ever noticed that? So, and I love that you brought this up. Yeah, this is a beautiful, I love that. Who loves to who loves to give? I love to give, regardless of what. I don't give without attachment this year. That's what I'm going to say. And this is so much fun. Stacy, welcome, our YouTube viewer. We love it. Yay, Neo Positivity. We love Neo Positivity. Thank you, Neo. Thank you. And for Gari, you were born December 19th, 1982. So we had to know like where you were born at least and the time of day in order to know what moon you are. And you could go figure it out really quick. We're not associated with this site at all. It's called cafeastrology.com. And then you can come back and let us know what moon you are. And we can take a dive into that. Okay. So cafeastrology.com. That's the quickest way I know. Or book a reading with Claudia, which the link is up in the chatty poo or the comments. Claudia.
I just have so much. I'm trying to get back to, let's see, where was I? I was talking about receptivity. The first couple of minutes when you wake up, you either go back, because when you sleep, you actually release all of the things that you're thinking about, all of the things that are on your plate. So when you wake up in the morning, you can either reach for that plate and pull them all back, or you spend those 2 to 5 minutes programming. 17 seconds is all you need to do feelization wise regarding something that you want, a state of being or something or relationship, whatever it is. If you can hold that frequency for 17 seconds, it's a done deal. So start your morning in that way. You're full of beliefs, right? We're all full of beliefs about what we think is going to happen. Shift those beliefs. Believe that you're going to receive what you want to receive. That's how you get your magnetic mojo working. You use the phase of the moon so that you're aligned energetically, and then you get yourself into a receptive mode. For one thing, when your feet hit the floor, you'll really be happy because you'll know that you're on your way to manifesting what you want. But many people are not geared to make things happen. That's what we're leaving behind. That's not sustainable. This idea that power is force. And Scorpio reminds us that power is inherent, that we are each powerful. But this energy also is about the rising of the Kundalini because it's root chakra energy. Scorpio rules the reproductive system, the eliminative processes. So if you're thinking of doing a cleanse before the holidays begin to get yourself in good shape, Scorpio new moon, that's a perfect intention to set. It's a great time to begin. And then you may find that on the full moon coming in 2 weeks that you really end up releasing a lot. But whatever you can do to cleanse, and that has to do with your emotional environment also, because Scorpio is the most emotionally intense energy of the zodiac, because it is water, because it is fixed, and because it goes from root to crown. And that's the Kundalini rising. That's the snake aspect of Scorpio, to get that Kundalini rising. So as we move through the week, at 5:53 p.m. on Wednesday, the moon moves into Scorpio. Let me see, is that right? Wait a minute. I've got so much information here for you. I want to be sure I get this all on the right.
Actually, that's one of the cool
day.
things.
No, it's Thursday. Thursday is the new moon. Thursday is the new moon. So on Wednesday, we have the moon moving into Scorpio at 5:53 p.m. in preparation for that new moon that's going to hit at, notes. I believe it's 2:14 on, can you tell the moon's void of course, folks? Yes, 2:14 p.m. on Thursday, the moon will be new in Scorpio. So this whole week, we are in this wind down, diminishing of the light. Light equals energy. So the light is diminishing this whole week as we move toward the new moon. And the light of the year is diminishing. We are moving into the depth of the dark, just as a bear moves into its cave. That's what we're doing. We're moving into the cave of our wisdom and gleaning the wisdom from this whole year. It's interesting because the culture now, again, that programming ramps up, telling you to run, buy, do, party. And the sun will enter Sagittarius, and it will be a celebratory energy after this intense Scorpio energy, but it's still the balsamic phase of the year. So, by the way, next Sunday also, the time shifts back an hour, spring forward, fall back. So you might practice this week during this balsamic phase, going to bed a little earlier, helping yourself adjust as, again, the powers that be monkey with time. But you know what time it really is, because it's the depth of the dark and it's time to rest more anyway.
I completely love that. So we have somebody with us. When do you want to take questions now, or you want to take them in about 20 minutes? Well, they're curious about the moon in Aquarius. Their moon is in Aquarius. And by the way, Claudia and I are both Aquariuses too. We're not Aquarius moon, we're Aquarius sun. I'm a Libra moon. And you're a Taurus
when the sun was in Aquarius, and our listener was born when the moon was in. I am that I am. I am not Aquarius. I am that I am. So I was born when the sun was in Aquarius. I was born when the moon was in Taurus. And this person was born when the moon was in Aquarius. So that can be, it's an interesting moon. With Aquarius being ruled by Uranus, it has brilliance and genius in it. The challenge is it's an air sign and it's fixed energy. So it can be very fixed in its opinions. And I can say that because I was born when the sun was in Aquarius, so I know about that. So an open mind is one of the best gifts that you can give yourself. Also, Aquarius can be the moon of the Ice Queen because it has the ability to detach. The reason for that, I feel, it's a gift. Moon is always a gift. It's because you feel the collective. You literally feel those collective energies. So groups, friends, community, these are all strong venues for you to put your vision forth. But it means that you need to back off also and have equal time for regeneration and reflection and grounding so that you don't burn out. because feeling the collective, it's a gift, but it's really can be very, very intense, especially right now. So, yeah, does that help? Is there something else that you'd like me to go a little deeper on?
Yeah, let us know. And then we have Stacy here, and she's we got a Gemini moon.
Leo, I think she said Leo
Oh,
moon.
Leo. Oh, no, a Gemini sun and a Leo moon. You caught that. And you guys, listen, I'm going to tell you, but this is not just a sales pitch. Go book a reading. They're so cool and they're so informational. The link is right up in the description of this. You just do it. It's so much fun. You won't regret it. Yay! Okay, so let's get into what's a Leo moon.
Leo moon, the moon always takes you back to childhood. So oftentimes, this is someone who didn't feel as appreciated as they would have liked in childhood from their family of origin. And so, this moon, I always tell people who have a Leo moon, applaud yourself. High five yourself in the mirror. I'm telling all of you that anyway. Wake up in the morning and high five yourself in the mirror and tell yourself you're fabulous. But with the moon in Leo, they want applause. And so, applaud yourself. Every time you do something wonderful, applaud your brilliance, applaud your beauty, applaud your charisma. It's a very charismatic moon. It's passionate. The challenge with the Leo moon is having an agenda, saying, I give love and therefore I expect, as opposed to Leo moon is ruled by the sun. The sun shines on everything. It doesn't say, oh, that rose is a little anemic. It's not giving me back in kind the light that I put forth, and therefore it should just die. No, you continue to shine from the heart because it feels good, and Leo rules the heart. So it's a wonderful moon to have, but it does like to be on stage. So find ways to get your gifts out there. It can be literal, or it can just be the fact that you love showing up. Showing up in your in your full light. So ramping up that light is really, really important. Being around people who appreciate you and that you can appreciate, and not holding them, not holding them at bay if that appreciation isn't forthcoming immediately. Because some people work more slowly, especially with that Gemini sun. You're very fast mentally. You tend to like variety, etc. So, and that's a challenge with the Leo moon too, because the Leo moon can be very passionate and romantic, but may not have staying power. So that's what you want to cultivate. And so you want a relationship where someone really deeply appreciates you.
Stacy, that's so cool. Well, we got a couple of great things. So, Guari, and I hope I say your name correctly. Gabriella, yes, they loved it. And Stacy's like, wow, Claudia, very accurate. Getting super interested. That's wonderful. Again, you guys could just book with her right there in the link in the comments. It's just a blast to discover more about guidance. And our heart is with you that your mom passed on Thursday. Definitely, definitely with you, darling, for sure. Thank you. And we're glad that you're here with us on Spirituality Gone Wild, and come back and visit often. We have a lot of really good stuff all the time. So, in fact, we're going to have a winter solstice party coming up. I just want to give a real quick shout out so you all know Claudia will be there, and she doesn't know that yet, but just this is an interesting question. Yeah, Claudia, let's talk about this. Solar flares. What do you think about that?
Well, we're moving through the photon belt. So there's a lot of photonic activity going on. We have been bombarded with light for a while now, and those solar flares have been increasing for the past few years. So we are all being asked, how much light can you take on? Are you ramping up your light? Before I get out of bed in the morning, I do a meditation where I welcome light. I recognize that I am light. I do the heart drop, which we've done before, where I breathe bronze light in from the earth up to the crown of my head, where the white light joins with it. And I drop my head down into my heart so that I can do the things I mentioned earlier, my receptive programming, my ramping up so that I'm in good shape. And then I send that light to the earth, to all the creatures in the ocean and on the land, to all the plants, to all the people, especially those in need. and I see everyone having everything they want, and I feel that. Then it moves out into the universe. And then that light begins to come back to me from all my galactic brothers and sisters and from the whole earth. And it's about holding light. It's about being that light worker, being that way shower and that lighthouse for humanity right now. And we have a little leg up because if you're listening to this, you're already in your awakening process. So we can hold that light and we can be that light for those who aren't so far on the path, who might be dealing with who knows. Compassion is a huge one during this time. That's why it's so important not to be adversarial or polarized if at all possible. And also during this Scorpio cycle, if you do feel that way, to look at the belief, to look at what's down in the basement. And that's why I don't know how many of you are familiar with Kundalini yoga. It's a great thing to do at this time. And also, as the energy ramps up towards this new moon is opposite Uranus in Taurus. And so it's really gonna be, be about change and unexpected things happening. So, everyone's world's going to be rocked by this new moon. So, avoid 3D drama, pull back from it, focus on your inner mastery. Scorpio goes deep into the internal world. It has to do with the deep mysteries of life. I always think of Scorpio as having the ability to be the shaman. And the shaman goes down into the underworld. So that's like going down into the repository of past hurts, betrayals, secrets, lies that hold our energy, that block us from giving and receiving love. And be willing to go deeper during this cycle. It really demands that you go deeper. It asks that you take the balance that was established in your relationships or your desire for balance in relationships in Libra during this Libra cycle, where we also recalibrated our communication as a gift of the Mercury retrograde. Now we move forward and we confront our desire for intimacy, for really deep connection with other people. And where do we mimic past relationships because we haven't cleared the decks as far as old hurts go? Oftentimes a relationship, sometimes people think, oh, I just need a new person. It's like, no, you need to be a new person. And then you'll attract a different kind of relationship. Your relationship with yourself needs to be solid first. So this can be scary baggage to unpack. And I know that. But this is the time to unpack it and to release it. You can even do cord cutting. You can call Archangel Michael in with his beautiful flaming sword and cut those cords. And you can move in, drop down, do some belly breathing. So you put your hands on your belly, your feet on the floor. And as you take a breath, just be sure your belly's moving. It doesn't have to be a stressful, strenuous breath, just allowing the breath to come and go, noticing it where it is in your body. And that Gemini sun oftentimes just breathes from right up here. So drop down into your belly and be sure your belly is moving. That's something that will help you through the times ahead that are going to ramp up stress-wise. These planets are direct now. So the things that were put on hold are now being revealed. And those revelations are going to happen for you as well. Also, balsamic phase of the year, plus Scorpio, the veils are thinnest. They're thinner than any other time of the year. So you can get your messages more easily if you keep your message center open. And be aware that if you go out into the collective or you go out into groups, that you are being bombarded with energy. So stay positive, be kind, be compassionate, breathe, be willing to listen. And then when you get home, do some Reiki clearing. Clear your energy field, take a nap, meditate, and reinforce your vision. Reinforce the breath all the way down to your belly. Remember, you're a magnet. So you want to magnetize the highest frequency possible. And if you can stay in the frequency of love or above, you're going to be fine. I found a quote that I just love. It says, if you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. That's from the Gospel of Thomas.
Oh,
So
that's actually beautiful. I love the Gospel of Thomas. I don't know if everybody's heard about the Gospel of Thomas. Tell them about that really quickly. And I mean, I think it's kind of neat.
well,
It's a
you
little
tell
off
them about
moon.
this. I think you know more about it than I do.
I just not well, actually, no, I really don't. I just know that the quotes that I hear from it, it was the lost book of the Bible, number one. And it literally goes into what our powers really are
Yeah,
and how that Christ, when he was here, meant to teach us to use the powers. And it wasn't to create fear in the process, it was to create it was to create magic.
beautiful,
So love
beautiful.
it.
Yeah,
It and so that's what the book is. If you're curious and you ever just want to take a little deep dive down the rabbit hole of creation, it's beautiful. I always encourage everybody to go down whatever rabbit hole seems to be pulling them forward. Today, we're down the rabbit hole of the moon and the lunar cycle and the new moon that's coming forward. I just want to, for anybody who's just popping on, the link to book a reading with Claudia is up in the chat. Plus, you can join our Facebook groups and stuff too. So please do that. Wendy Ratcliffe, welcome. Are you a Sagittarius sun or Sagittarius moon? And Stacy, I love this. I mean, let's look at her. I mean, she's loving the idea of adding Archangel Michael. That right there is seriously magic. You have to do that. It's just, oh, thank you for the reminder, Claudia, because I needed that reminder. Oh my
well,
gosh.
we're not alone. And oftentimes, especially when we enter this time of year, we recognize that these cords are thick and deep, and some that we thought we released seem to reappear. But Archangel Michael will really, really do the work with you. So, call him in, give yourself some sacred space, that ritual space that always can accompany a new moon. You want to set yourself up for a new beginning, because that's what a new moon gives you. It gives you a brand new beginning in some area of your life. In this case, wherever 12 to 13 degrees of Scorpio is. That's where this new moon is going to kick off a new beginning. And the promise of Scorpio, it's double ruled. So it's ruled by both Mars, which when there were only 7 known planets, Mars ruled both Scorpio and Aries. Now they've discovered Pluto, the outer planet that has to do with the collective shadow and the collective unconscious. And so now that is part of the Scorpio rulership. What this does is it tells you that when you use that Mars to look at where you're still at war with yourself, so to speak, and you move inward and you take that, and Mars rules surgery. So you do that cord cutting. The Plutonian promise is that if you eliminate those old hurts, you can not just change your life, you can transform it. Now that's different. I'm wearing black today because we've entered the balsamic phase, but I used to wear and still do a lot of white. So wear a lot of white. I now wear black. That's change. Transformation is I was a caterpillar. Now I'm a butterfly. But remember that what the caterpillar goes through when it spins its cocoon and it moves into that cocoon, it becomes what's called a larvae. And that means that it literally, I find this so amazing, it literally allows its old form to completely liquefy and dissolve so that it can be reformed as a butterfly. So that's really, and Scorpio being fixed energy, it can hang on to old emotions. It can be so possessive and jealous and hang on to those things more than any other sign. So it's just releasing those old hurts because they're in the past. They're not here now. Doing that cord cutting and then feeling the energy, reclaiming the energy so that you can transform your life, so you can move forward in a brand new way. And we're going to have eclipses coming. So, in 2 weeks from Thursday, we will have a lunar eclipse in Taurus. So we'll have eclipse season. And those are eclipses are pivot points. They always up our game. They shift us into a whole new dimensional reality, actually, if we can be present for them and do the work. So as this Scorpio cycle begins with the new moon, you want to set intentions around what you want to, I'm releasing this, I'm doing a cleanse, I'm creating, intentions are always concise. They're not your to-do list. You set 3 or 4 intentions, that's it. And that's because of the feelization process. And in just a few minutes, we're going to set an intention together because I want to be sure that you know how to do your feelization process, because that's, You can use that before you get out of bed in the morning. You can use it anytime during the day, but it's what's going to fast track those intentions and keep you on track with what you want to create. So, because this new moon is going to be chaotic, I'm not going to kid you, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to bring unexpected things. Unexpected things are going to be revealed around the power, the power grid, the power forces, as far as information goes. And we're going to see, misuse of power, trying to tighten down the collective, so to speak, because this new moon also widely squares. It squares Saturn and Jupiter, actually, Saturn closer. So this shows us where the structures that limit us are going to be trying to exercise their authority in ways that may not be honest or above board. So watch where you get your information from. Put your hands on your gut if you need to, and ask when someone gives you information. And I always say, I have people who send me all kinds of stuff from YouTube, from this, from that, about what's going on, conspiracies, this and that. And my question to them is always, how does that elevate your spirit? How does that help you stay in maximum radical love and forgiveness? Are you part of the problem, or are you part of the solution? If you're polarized and adversarial, you're not part of the solution, because we're moving into an awareness of oneness. This is the big goal, guys. Awareness of oneness. That's the overarching thing that's going on. Is it going to happen instantly? No. Can we begin? You betcha. And that's what this new moon tells you can do, is you can begin, and you can move those energies from the root that are all about security and our emotions, that you can move them up. You can make them rise up. And so all your chakras are open and receptive, as opposed to just moving from the root chakra, which says, I got to make it happen. I've got to be afraid. I've got all these things. And if you are someone who has strong Scorpio energy, you may find that you have panic attacks. And that's simply a lack of breath. So the first thing with a panic attack, if possible, put your hands on your belly and get a breath in until you can get a smooth breath all the way from your belly up, back down, and then come into your heart.
I want to, Wendy, what I'll tell you is, we are not associated with cafeastrology.com, but you can go at least find out what your moon is, and come and let us know. And Stacy says, woohoo, learning how to be what we are capable of. Much gratitude. Yes, absolutely. You bet. This is so much fun. I'm a Libra moon. What's going on with Libras? We got a couple of Libra moons on here on the chat too.
Well, we're ending the Libra cycle, and you can go back to the show that was on the Libra new moon for more information. Librans have been in a time of establishing balance and harmony and birthdays and all those sorts of things. You've had some power points. Mercury was retrograde in Libra. That was big stuff. It seemed like it went on forever. But Libra's ruled by Venus. So that's Venus of the mind, establishing peace, harmony, grace, beauty here first, dropping down into your heart so that you can live it. And this 11-month again reminds us 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. We got all these ones saying it begins with you. The balance begins with you. And we're in a 5-year. So this is a year of transition and change. Now that's the collective calendar. And we do have to follow that collective calendar, even though it's a fake calendar, because it was created by a pope in 62. So I'm tuning you into the real calendar. I'm tuning you into why your body feels the way it does, why your emotions are either running you or you're able to navigate them. You're able to kind of enjoy the roller coaster ride and harness the energy, as opposed to being buffeted about by it all the time. And that's understanding the lunar calendar. And that's why I talk about the phases. And we're going to go from the new moon to Sunday, where we'll enter the crescent phase about 6:41 p.m. So we come out of that void of course moon on Sunday around 5:30, as the moon moves into the moon will move into Sagittarius. So wait a minute. No, the moon will move into Capricorn. And as the moon moves into Capricorn on Sunday, there's a story about Elvis that I love. I don't know if you're aware that Elvis Presley had a Capricorn, was born under a Capricorn sun. And he had his his guys, his Memphis Mafia, had these gold necklaces that they wore. And it was a free form TCB in gold. And that is such a byword for Capricorn. Take care of business. So as you move through this balsamic phase of the year and you're on the heels of this kind of chaotic, unexpected, full of unexpected stuff, new moon with this opposition to Uranus, you want to start to hatch a plan. You're gleaning the wisdom and you're looking at what your vision for 2021 brought you to. And if you didn't have a vision, very important. We are in the Aquarian age, and that is the age of the futuristic visionary. So you want to be present in the moment. You don't want to be living in the future, but you want to be walking as if. So it's tricky, but having a vision is so, so important. So, you can do vision mapping with me and we can get the right timing for everything. But I've noticed how when I have a vision, the phases of the year, all the timing just carries me through. It guides me continually to come back to what I need to focus on, because your decisions follow your vision. Your vision dictates your decisions. So that's how important it is. And it also reminds you every day how to come back into alignment. Oh, I'm not talking, espousing, living the world that I want to see, the world that I envision. So let me go back to that. Let me go back to my vision. It takes a lot of courage. Light workers are really courageous people. It's not that we don't go through stuff. We go through it before anybody else. That's all. So, and there, like I said, there's a lot of baggage. We all have this opportunity during this time to release the baggage. So you might find that there's a lot of frustration. You might find that, Mars acts as an accelerator regarding some things, regarding, our systems, military, education, media, all of these things. They're all up there. It's like the emperor has no clothes. It's all being shown to us. You just have to recognize that the emperor is indeed naked, no matter what he is telling you.
He's naked.
He's naked.
He's naked.
Yeah, media, medicine, all of it. You're responsible. And this is what's really happening in this age that's so big. Has been since 2012, but now that Saturn's in Aquarius, it's really coming home to us. And that is that freedom implies responsibility. As I mentioned, we're moving into a time with this new moon, which really reminds you to work your inner mastery, to look at how you can elevate your spirit every day, to honor the fact that you might or should need more rest with the light diminishing because you are a light being, and, to live the way you see fit in the face of how you're being told to achieve fitness. Fitness under the patriarchy. No. Time for balance. This 11 reminds us of the balance with the feminine coming in. It's not about the feminine overriding the masculine. After all, the goddess energy was present on the earth for, archaeologically, we know now, 250,000 years before the patriarchy. And there's a book called The Chalice and the Blade, if you want to read some archaeological information about that. And so now it's time for us to bring that feminine back into balance. So we don't have her story, we don't have his story, we have our story. And that's the new way of being. And we've got a long way to go, because the feminine on this planet is so abused. It's been so deteriorated in its power. And that's true no matter what sex, what gender your body is. So bringing that balance into your own life, getting outside and calling the directions in the morning, that's a wonderful thing to do. The north, the south, the east, the west, the above, the below, and the center. To just turn toward them and welcome the energies and honor them. Honor the beginning of a new day with the east. Honor the ending of a day with the west. Honoring the grandmother energy, the child energy, the star beings. Just honoring the energy. Getting out in nature. That's really a big one, because this new moon is opposite Uranus in Taurus. So Taurus is the earthiest girl of the zodiac, opposite this water. And we know that water runs over the earth, but nature, really, you'll thrive if you can get out in nature every day, just to be aware, just to stand and worship with your eyes, that will calm your nervous system. Also, yes, we're going to see some financial stuff. So I mentioned during the Libra cycle to look at your relationship with debt. Look at how much you truly need. This is what this Uranus and Taurus is asking us. Again, back to the Scorpio possessiveness. How much do you really need to do your work in the world, to be happy? How many cords of energy do you have out to stuff? Because everything you own has a cord of energy from you to it. That's why you see spiritual masters, monks, etc., with very little. They don't have the distraction or the detours for their energy. So this is a great time of year as the light releases back to begin a new year for you to release stuff emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically that you really don't need, and maybe it's a time when you can repurpose it where someone else can benefit from it, which is a way to open that receptivity.
That's beautiful.
Oh, Stacy, congratulations. That's wonderful. It's interesting. There's no place that word cancer exists pre-AMA medicine, pre-modern day, except for in the zodiac. Cancer is the sign that is ruled by the moon. So obviously you have ramped up your ability to nourish yourself and fill your well. And huge congratulations for that. Huge. Celebrate every day. All of you celebrate every day, but especially, if you're at a point in life where you recognize that you've gone through trauma, that you're a warrior. You're a warrior for the light. All of you are. But congratulations, Stacy. Thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful.
I love that. Yes, you are all warriors. You're warriors. Hello, Lisa, my darling goddess. So good to see you. Wendy, I sent you a message with a link for that so you can figure out what your moon sign is. We will be back next Monday, by the way, with another report. But what I'd like to do now is Claudia is going to be guiding us through a practice that she wants all of you to know. And so if you want to book a session with her, go to the link that's up in the comments, book a session. Okay. And you can get further in and get a reading and discover more about yourself. And if you're driving, please don't do this. Be careful. All right. Yeah. Because it probably is not a great idea.
No, listen and practice it later. But the thing I want you to remember, first of all, is this is the wind down of the cycle. So you do want to glean the wisdom, do a little journaling and reflect. Look at what you want to release. But also, oh my gosh, the artist who just checked in, who did the picture behind me. I get so many comments and compliments on this wonderful panther, my power animal. Diane Waybright painted this.
All right, Diane. Diane, yeah. Put your link into the chat because it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's absolutely. I love it. Yeah, I love it. I like tigers, Diane. Just saying.
She does tigers. She does. This was the first cat I think she did for me, and she's brilliant, and I just love her so much. She's a dear friend for many years. Lives in Tucson, Arizona. If you want to find she sells her work. It's sold here in the desert, and and she lives in Tucson. So anyway, thank you so much for showing up, Diane. That's wonderful. So let's go quickly into the intention process. So the new moon is a time to set an intention, and as I mentioned, I usually say health, relationship, business and finance, possibly family, leisure, one other if you want, if you desire. But for instance, around health, and you always start with, I am happy and thankful, or I am happy and grateful. I'm sorry, I happily and thankfully create, or I happily and thankfully intend to. So I happily and thankfully create a healthy regimen beginning with a cleanse. That's going to be one of my intentions. So it can have to do with what you want to transform. It can be, something you want to create. This is incredibly creative energy. Cancer and Scorpio are two of the most mothering signs of the zodiac. I happily and thankfully, create new energy as I release all old hurts. That can be an intention, but you don't want it any longer than what I'm saying, because you want it to be concise. So you're going to write that down. And I suggest doing a brain dump. I usually do a brain dump to get it narrowed down, because oftentimes it's like, oh, the kitchen sink. Oh, goody. No, one concise intention. It can be I happily and thankfully release all old hurts and reclaim the energy. Forgive. I happily and thankfully practice radical forgiveness. And that can be one of your intentions for the whole cycle that you carry through. So you write your intention. It's important that you write it, and it's great to keep a journal. Writing is a form of instant manifestation. It concretizes it. It's solid. Once you've written it, it's physical. So once you've done your brain dump, you write your intention. And then you gently close your eyes with your feet on the floor. We're going to do that now. And you begin to just be aware of your breath as it comes and goes. Is it in your chest? Is it in your belly? Welcome the breath to your whole body on the next inhalation. Just take a few delicious breaths. As you exhale, feel your shoulders drop away from your ears. Feel the chair support you and the earth that sustains you so beautifully under your feet. Your palms are up in your lap in the receptive mode. And now you bring your intention forward. And you see that intention as if it's lit up inside your forehead. And you envision what that intention looks like manifested. You might get colors, sounds, smells, whatever it is. Really get a wonderful picture going of what it looks like to have that intention manifested right now. And now that lit up intention turns 90 degrees and begins to move down behind your facial mask, behind your throat. You feel the beating of your heart. It moves down through your heart, all the way to your belly. And as it hits your belly button, the light explodes and you step into the picture of that intention manifested that you just created. You step into that picture, you feel the light of that intention, and the feelings that go with it fill every cell of your body. It might be relief, joy, celebration, contentment, a tremendous ramping up of your energy. Really feel those feelings. And now that energy, that light ramps up even more, and it moves through your skin and fills your auric field, so that now you are vibrating with that intention manifested inside and out. Your whole field is filled with the frequency of that intention manifested right now. Really allow those feelings to flow. By now, you ought to have an inner, if not an outer smile going on. Feel the freedom. Feel the love for yourself. And when you feel complete, take a breath, and as you exhale, open your eyes and come back to be with me. Now, that's one intention. And you have literally matched the frequency, because facts don't create, feelings create. So you've matched the frequency of that intention in feeling, and it's a done deal. You want to hold it, again, as I mentioned, when you do your feelization, and you will realize what you feelize. I want you to just hang on to that 17 seconds. You want to stay in that feeling state for at least 17 seconds. And then jot some notes. What did it look like? Maybe some messages came through. And then you go to your second intention, your third, no more than 4. And you can see why. It's because of this process. You want to put 3 actions underneath each intention and give yourself calendar dates by which you will begin, at least take some action on it, because you'll follow it through the 8 phases. And when you get a reading with me, I send you something called Moon Phases at a Glance, so that you can keep up with all of these all of these phases and the keywords that harness the energy of the heavens literally. And then you take each intention. If you do 4, you do this with each intention. And then every day, and this is why you don't want to do 10 intentions, you do your feelization. And this will fast track you. Because what could go wrong? You've manifested it. It's in frequency. It's like, as Abraham said, in your vortex. What can get it out of the vortex? What can fast track it? Staying in the feeling, committing to, we're talking about moving into the process in 17 seconds, go for 20 or 30, and just allowing yourself to really feel that feeling. And the thing is, dream stealers can come along. Those old thoughts, beliefs, keep track of them. You can release them at the full moon with your release ceremony, which we will go through with the eclipse. So powerful. And do your feelization every morning. Journal a bit. I get some really good suggestions sometimes from my guides when I do my feelization, and you undoubtedly will too. And move your intentions along, because you can always go back into the feeling. You know the feeling now. If a dream stealer comes, just don't give it any time. Out of alignment. Back in it. Yep, I'm that millionaire. Yep, I'm that light worker. Yep, I'm that joyful person living an unlimited life. So I want to wish you all just an amazing, amazing new moon experience. Like I said, we've got to be good surfers, because the waves are going to be coming. We're in this time of emotionally intense water. And so but it's an opportunity to confront and clear. And you will get through it, because what is within you will always save you. And you are love. That's what you are. You are loved by me, by Debbie, by the whole universe. Don't ever forget that.
That's right. All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for starting off your week with Moon Day Monday. And if you're just joining us, make sure you go back, watch the replay. The replay is available right there on all the channels that you're watching it on, wherever that you might be. You're very welcome, Melinda. I love you, sweetheart. It's so good. Elisha, it's so good that you're here too. Thank you to everybody. We love you guys. And make sure that you continue to stay tuned on Spirituality Gone Wild for all of the great shows we have coming this week. Completely freaking awesome stuff all week long. And that's all for now. Bye.
I just wanted to mention, you can always message me at Moon Powered Astrology on Facebook if you have a question.
Oh yeah, that's very true. You can. And as a matter of fact, I even have Moon Powered. I'll put it up real quick. Okay. And up in the link, up in the description, there's not only is there a link to book a reading, but there's also a link to Claudia's Facebook page. Okay. So you can just go right up in the description, click on that, as well as Spirituality Gone Wild. Follow us and watch for more great things coming your way. Bye for now.